The head basketball coach at San Diego State, Brian Dutcher, now joins us live. And, Coach, we're thrilled to have you on. We're thrilled for you. Saw that your contract is all finalized. Congrats on that. We'll get to more on that in just a second. I was actually just looking at your career. I know you've been here in San Diego for a long time. It's funny. I look at it, and one of the first thoughts was, gosh, I wonder if you could weigh in on what's been a running conversation with me and Rich about how the Chargers will be affected by moving, because you've moved a ton. Illinois, South Dakota State, Michigan, then San Diego State. Now you're here for a while, but you have daughters, a family. How did life get affected each time you moved?
You know, guys, it's coaching can be a lot like a military existence. You can be moving all the time. And really, I've been blessed to have raised my kids in two places. Even though Erin, my oldest, was born in Brookings, South Dakota, we moved to Ann Arbor when she was 1, and then we've lived in Ann Arbor or San Diego for the last basically 28 years. So the stability that I've been able to provide my family has been something that I really don't take for granted. It's been able to raise them in two places, in two wonderful places.
Yeah, I mean, look, especially the coach's life, I mean, it could send you on a whirlwind tour of the country, so it's fortunate that you've been able to do that. But that raises an interesting question. Mark talking about the Chargers leaving town. We saw probably extra scrutiny placed on Andy Green recently for decisions made on the diamond. The focus has definitely tightened on the teams that are left here in San Diego with the Chargers departing. Steve Fisher steps down. You're the incumbent. You come in, guaranteed contract. Are you a little worried about the extra scrutiny that may be placed on San Diego State athletics, especially men's basketball, with the history you guys have had?
Guys, the world's been great so far. I'm undefeated. So there is no as you know in coaching, as soon as I lose the first game, you know it's coming. So that's just what we sign on for. There's gonna be scrutiny and everybody works their day jobs and then they get the weekends or the weeknights to come watch athletics and they have an opinion, and that's a great thing. Everybody is passionate about Aztec athletics and Aztec basketball, and so I want passionate fan base. I want them to be critical if we're not playing well, and that's what we sign on for as coaches, and I welcome it.
Brian Dutcher's with us. Brian, Rich mentions Andy Green. There's been a lot of talk last couple of weeks about whether or not he should be more demonstrative. I think there are plenty of coaches out there who are calm guys who've done well. Tony Dungy, even John Wooden. What was Steve Fisher like, even behind closed doors, with regard to that? And how does that compare to the way you are?
You know, Coach has just been a steady rudder on the ship for all these years, and I wondered all these years I worked for him what his greatest quality was. And I think the fact that he was a great listener. You know, in this world there are so many talkers, and they can talk till they're blue in the face. Coach Fisher always was a great listener. And I thought that was his greatest quality. So if I steal anything from him, it'll be that I'm a good listener instead of a great talker.
We have no idea what you're talking about people who talk too much, Coach. I haven't met anyone like that.
You know, Coach, speaking of the quiet types, Kawhi Leonard, actually, born on June 29th. Today is his birthday. He turns 26, I believe. Look, your time spent around a special athlete like Kawhi, the player he's transformed into as a pro basketball player. Are you guys onto any more, hidden gems like that on the recruiting trail now that we're into the summer and we look forward to the next basketball season?
Hey, we're always out looking. And, some guys are just guys that don't get the recognition nationally. Maybe it's because of the club team they play on or things like that. But there are diamonds out there all over the place, and we just have to continue to not look at rankings, but look at talent, look at long-term potential. And that's what we saw in a guy like Kawhi Leonard. That's what we saw in a Jamal Franklin. Maybe guys that weren't national names coming out, but were national players. And Kawhi was just such a wonderful guy to have here for 2 years. And you look at him, and right now he's arguably one of the top 3 players in the world. And he went to San Diego State University. And it's our job as coaches to go try to find the next Kawhi Leonard. And we spend every day at work trying to do that. There isn't a day where recruiting isn't on the list of things to do. So recruiting is a full-time job year-round. And the challenging thing is, you guys know, it's a sales position. Recruiting is sales. And I like to say it's the hardest sales position in the world because we're trying to convince a 17-year-old where he wants to spend the next 4 years of his life.
You know, Coach, that's actually interesting because as a college coach, I feel like we're just watching my coaches when I played. Now you have this opportunity as a head coach. You wear a lot of different hats. I mean, this is a 24/7 job now with text messaging and social media and obviously just coaching the darn team you have, the players you have in the building. So what is a day in the life of Brian Dutcher? Do you have any time to go home and play with the kids, or is it just all work?
Well, my kids are on their own now. Aaron and Lydia.
Oh, they've grown on. Okay, I got you.
At home, so I like to be at work because I go home. Jan might have a list of things for me to do. My wife, so I like to be at work. And like I said, part of every day is recruiting. Part of every day is trying to figure out concepts that'll get us better as a team. You know, part of every day is monitoring academics. Those that are in summer school, those that are coming for the second session summer school. Making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing academically. It's always part of basketball. And even though we don't get a chance to work with them a lot in the summer, we get a couple hours a week for 8 weeks over the summer. But when they're not with us, are they putting work in on their own to try to not mandate it, which we can't do. We can't mandate work on their own, but to try to say, what are you doing? Are you getting in the gym? Are you working to get yourself better? And so there's always something to be done during the day. And we stay hard at it, but the nice thing is it's a passion, it's a love. So it's not work. It's not something you dread doing. It's something you look forward to doing every day. And so that passion allows you to put those hours in.
Coach Brian Dutcher, Sdsu, Aztec Hoops, joining us, Mark and Rich Show. Coach, was reading about everything being finalized contractually over there at the school. No one was worried about that, but was there any sort of celebration for you and Jan? What'd you guys go do?
You know what? When we celebrated actually when the day that I was kind of named, you know, even though we didn't have the contract, you know, we've been in our same house for 18 years. And so we have a lot of neighbors that have become almost like family to us. And so we had a little get together and celebrated with our San Diego family, which is our neighbors. And then it was to work on the contract. And John David Wicker did just a great job of listening to what my thoughts were, to working with me. The university was very supportive. Obviously, it's a position I knew I was going to have because Jim Sturk had got that done before he had left years ago to have me named coach in waiting. And so then it was just trying to do a contract that let everybody know this is where I want to be, this is where I want to finish my career. You know, there are other jobs around the country that people may say, what a great title, what a great university, you know, what great pay. But this is the only job I've wanted over the last 18 years is this one. So to have the contract to allow me to do that, to try to grow this brand, to try to take where Coach Fisher has left the program to greater heights, that's what we're all about. And so I'm excited for this opportunity.
Well, congratulations for sure. And my only other question on that is, you know, who's your agent and does he work with broadcasters at all?
You know what? You broke up on me, guys, so I missed that last thing.
No, I just said fully guaranteed deal. So who's your agent, and does he work with broadcasters?
Yeah. Hey, listen, I've had a couple guys that have helped me out, but you know I haven't hired an agent yet because I said, why do I need an agent? I already got the job. What job are you going to give me? So I have a couple guys that helped me with the contract, and I'm very much appreciative of their efforts. And like I said, it wasn't hard to do. You know, I knew I was wanted here. They knew I wanted to be here. And so it was just crossing the T's and dotting the I's, and I think it's a great situation for everybody.
Coach, we really appreciate a few minutes of your time.
Thanks, Mark and Rich. I really enjoyed it. And like I said, it doesn't seem like it's that far away, but Aztec basketball will be back on that court very soon.
Yeah.
We look forward to it.
Excited for that.
All right, there he goes, the head coach of Sdsu Hoops, Brian Dutcher, replacing Steve Fisher after many years with Aztec Hoops.